Game number one, everybody. Team Russia against Wind and Rain at the Division S playoffs in Europe. Lower bracket right now. Team Russia, because of their position in the standings, starts here in the lower bracket. And Wind and Rain already played a series previously against Granit Gaming, where you could argue they should have won that entire thing, but Granit Gaming won the team fights when it really mattered. And now we're having them going up against Team Russia here. Best of 5. Division S playoffs, and it is the newest patch which introduced the 10% flat global speed bonus for every single hero. So definitely an interesting setup, and traditionally, as so often, Maka gets immediately banned out. Nobody wants to deal with this Mephisto. Everybody's just sitting there and just saying like, oh my god, I don't want to deal with that shit today. So yeah, that gets banned out. Then again, we have also Zeratul eliminated at this point. So we have a couple of players that are being subbed in right now. Kuni-chan is playing for the team again, as we already had in the past. So since this tournament is now at a specific date at the weekend, some of the teams were not able to field their entire 5 players. But most of the guys that you're seeing have at one point or another already subbed in for the teams. We had previous games also where Nuruk, for example, subbed in for Washed Up. And that was actually pretty cool. In addition to that, we also had Nick, the former Method player, subbing in as Smexy and JPL couldn't make it. And the series so far have actually been pretty amazing. I mean, Washed Up kind of moved through their series like there was no tomorrow. But especially the Wind and Rain versus Granit Gaming series showed once again that Wind and Rain is a team that can be incredibly scary. And they arguably should have won that series too. The immediate first pick on Chen, and this is honestly starting to become a theme here. So again, the red War Master skin, and I said this before and I'm saying it again, the white War Master is just the best, but I can absolutely understand why Team Russia would go for the communism skin on the hero. So they are going for the red color, and I can appreciate this. So in this case, I'm going to make an exception on the style police, and I'm saying I let that slide. But now we have Garrosh picked by Khaldor and Galnagulna on Malfurion. But Chen has today... I'm currently just thinking about, did he actually win that one game? I'm not 100% certain. He lost one. Okay, so he's actually at 4 wins and 1 losses. So Chen can lose, but ever since the newest patch dropped, Chen is definitely a little bit more popular. And guess who actually picked Chen most of the time before the current patch? It was the Russians. They played with Chen all the freaking time, and now they're doing it again. Stark with the immediate pick right there. And now we have also Anna and Johanna, both of them in. So you already have nano boost access. And here on Volskaya, the ban on Jaina. And partly because of that, I mean, you don't want to have a nano boost Jaina there. I could totally see that they're picking Liming now away too. Wind and Rain, that is, just to make sure that there's no nano boosted Liming either. And let's see. Tracer gets banned out. Alright. So, Macke doesn't have Tracer, they don't have Vala, and they don't have Mephisto. It's all on the damage, but there's the Liming pick, as expected. Picking it away from Ana, and ETC comes now in 2 for the side lane even here. Alright, so they're gonna go for that right away. Question is now just simply how do they round out their own draft? Who is Ana going to combo off with? That's one of the questions here at least. And then we can go into this party. Are we going to see maybe like a triple melee at the front? That could also be a thing. Haven't seen a single Thrall today now that I'm thinking about it. 2 best of 5s. Haven't seen a single Thrall just now. And, well, is that going to be a first one? I don't think so. Nope, it's Sylvanas and Genji that are getting picked by the Russians. Farlander has played a fair amount of Sylvanas lately, and he's doing exactly that in the first game of this best of 5. Last pick, though. Bit more damage needed. And Wind and Rain, what is Skok gonna take for them now? They don't go for the double reset this time, since Genji was picked away from them. They actually played that setup in the series against Granit. But there's the Thrall pick that I wanted. Alright, so the triple melee for Wind and Rain. And ladies, we're ready. So Volskaya Foundry is our first map in the best of 5. Let's jump in right away and find out which team is gonna take the first victory. Game number 1, Team Russia. We are going straight in for Farlander on Sylvanas, Vodka-chan on Ana, Kuni-chan on Johanna, Mr. Banana Beer on Genji, and Stark on Chen. Pretty much the same setup that they used already for the Heroes Hype tournament, and they were incredibly successful there. But now we're having Wind and Rain against them, and they played fantastic against Granit Gaming earlier today. Galnagulna on Malfurion, Skok on Thrall, Max Payne on ETC, Berkult on Garrosh, and Macke on Li Ming. Alright, so with that said, we're having actually the Eye of the Tiger build again. And we talked a little bit about earlier what Chen actually has in his keg, and I personally believe that it switches depending on who plays the hero. A German Chen definitely has beer in the keg, a Russian Chen vodka. When we're talking about the Mexicans, it's clearly tequila. It was suggested that for the Irish it's Guinness. And someone was joking a little bit and we were talking about what's in the keg of an American Chen player. And I'm actually not quite sure because I think it could... people suggested Coca-Cola, which is one option. I personally said I think Budweiser, and someone suggested that Budweiser is beer. And you take that back because you know it's not true. Everybody who already had a Budweiser in their life knows that it's not beer. It's a little bit like Kölsch in Germany. Only the people living in Cologne think that's beer. Nobody else agrees with them, but they are convinced, and that's the same with Budweiser and Americans. But either way, whatever is in the keg in this game should be clear. Stork definitely is going full in on the vodka here, and his Chen is one of the strongest that we actually have. I mean, honestly, that guy has been playing Chen when everybody else after the rework said, nope, Chen is still garbage. And now, after the hero got addressed a little bit more by Blizzard, with a little touch of love in the last patch, we're all of a sudden seeing Chen being played a whole lot more. Especially the keg has been addressed, honestly. We are now having a cooldown reduction on the Wandering keg, and in addition to that, we're also having the extra armor that you get. But Chen, in this case, is probably going to get wrecked. Stork looks like he's going to be first blood, and yep, there he goes. He is down, and that is that. So all of a sudden we're having the first kill for Wind and Rain, and they're basically just continuing where they left off against Granit Gaming. It was honestly insane to me that they lost the series against Granit Gaming. They played such great games, and two of the maps in particular I honestly thought they could not lose, and then Granit all of a sudden turned the heat up and was able to win the important fights and turn it around. But it was mind-blowing. It is an incredible miracle that Wind and Rain is not in the winner bracket at this point, so it's pretty crazy. But as it stands, they lost. Granit Gaming was just a touch better when it mattered, and now Wind and Rain has to prove that they can take down the Russians here. And they're going to try and do exactly that. 2 stacks already for the Crash Lightning, as we're having Thrall obviously in a triple melee setup. And that's exactly what you want to do. Crash Lightning is an amazing talent if you can stack it quickly, and there are a couple of maps where that usually is the case, and one of them is Volskaya Foundry, the other one is Battlefield of Eternity. And if you're able to stack it quickly, the damage output that you get is absolutely incredible. The prioritization on the bounces against heroes will allow you to get absolute insane numbers out there. But as we said before, you need to make sure that early on you are able to get a couple of stacks onto that talent. And so far, Skok has only been able to get 2. You want to have a little bit more at this point in time, but especially around the first objective, that's usually where you can rack things up a little bit. There's the third one coming in, and now that the objective is up, I think we're going to see more of these 5 versus 5 gatherings where he has an easy time getting additional stacks and therefore also damage points. So we'll see how that pans out in the long run, but for now they're doing their work here. Yeah, there's one Chain Lightning. Honestly, you could have gotten another stack if he just would have hit it immediately after rotating back down there. Either way, Stork has already taken the position here. The teams are both on level 4, and level 7 is going to come in soon. Farland hasn't really gotten a whole lot of stacks yet for Sylvanas. There's also the Ancestral Wrath for Thrall now, so even a little bit more of a burst, which is always awesome. Having in addition to that, after the Rejuvenation, also now the Nature's Cure again. And a focus into the face melt build, but trying to get the drop against Kuni-chan, who has been finding himself in that melee position quite a lot now, especially when Chen is played by Stork, because Stork's the one that goes for that. The healing beacon advantage is really coming through now for Wind and Rain. That's a big one, 99% for them, but the fight is still there. And now with the Festering Wounds, we're actually seeing more stacks coming in for Sylvanas, but it's still not really a whole lot. And with Chen getting dropped here, they get an easy protector number 1. Again, Wind and Rain is playing an incredible tournament so far. And it always feels funny saying that, considering they lost their first series. But seriously, guys, these guys have done an incredible job against Granit Gaming. And right now, they're at least in the early game continuing that trend against Team Russia as well. 2 kills against 0, more than half a level ahead. They win the protector and go straight for the fort in the mid lane. Now, right now we're also having Thrall in the protector, which means that he can obviously not continue his stacking process. The Festering Wounds are helping Sylvanas to get a few additional stacks in. I mean, her endless stacking, that's definitely something that she can exploit in the later stage if they're able to get a lot of this. But we'll see how it's going to pan out in the long run. For now, things are looking good for Wind and Rain. Obviously, a lot of the games will kind of shift around a bit after we reach level 10. Down at the bottom of the map, we're still seeing Max Payne going up against Stork here. With ETC, you have a couple of interrupts against the barrel Keck that we're seeing there, so that's definitely something that will help a little bit to interrupt him. ETC, by the way, is doing a fantastic job with his level 1. I mean, a great job. He's currently sitting at 15 stacks on the proc rock, so that's pretty awesome. Now, the patch changed, of course, quite a few things. It's not only that we've seen the increased movement speed, which affects a lot of the heroes, too. A lot of the skill shots are now much harder to hit. Ana, therefore, received, so to say, a little bit of a silent nerf. The same is true for heroes that really rely on movement speed of their opponents with heroic abilities. Nezebo's Ravenous Spirit getting a lot less value right now. The same is true for the Purifier Beam for Artanis. Granted, in those cases, the heroes are hardly part of the meta, so it doesn't really matter as much. But there's definitely a lot of heroes that are in a bit of a weird spot now because of those movement speed changes. And Blizzard changed a lot more than only that. I mean, there's a couple of cooldown adjustments that we've seen for Nubarak, for example, just to name one. But there's even more around that. We're going to come back to that, especially when those heroes make an appearance here. But for the time being, we're still seeing a bit of action around level 10 abilities. And that's where we get the stage dive right now. So as Garrosh is the main tank, we still have Global thanks to the stage dive. Stalk completely ignored, at least for the time being, the changes that were made to the Wandering Keck, so we don't have that in play. Instead, it is still the Triple Panda, which just allows you to jump the backline and do so much more damage there. But you don't get that extra armor that the Keck would provide you with. And the cooldown reduction on the Keck isn't too bad either. So if you feel like you can isolate heroes with that quite easily, it might be a bit of a play. Talking isolation, Marke gets slightly isolated here. Barnaby wants to kill. Oh my god, and barely... Oh, no fucking way. Li Ming survives and Genji dies. You gotta be joking. The X-Strike nearly killed her. She had a sliver of health left. And then they turn around and take them down. And now they're also going for the Panda again. Unbelievable. I cannot believe they didn't get the kill and then lost Genji a second later. Stork still on the run. He's gonna get out of the way here. But yeah, that's 3 kills against 0 right now. What a setup. I mean, again, dominance on level... honestly, this is the perfect setup for dominance. Li Ming had nothing left in terms of hit points, so she gets max value out of dominance there. Malfurion also a huge help to keep her alive, but that definitely was brilliant. The stuns that came in against Genji too, because let's face it, one more auto attack against Li Ming and she would have been dead there. But as it stands, we're 8 minutes in and now the next objective is spawns in 4 seconds. The Panda still at the bottom of the map. Problematic is, yeah, that's problematic too. That's definitely a tactical pause that we're seeing here, but let's be honest, this hero is still going to die. What I wanted to say is that with the level 13 being so close, Chen is now trying to get some experience down here at the bottom. And we're already figuring out what exactly the issue is. Apparently Stalk has dropped out of the game. Now that's not good. But the thought is still the same. Stork is back, Johanna has fallen as expected, was also kicked around a little bit as she was already on the ground, not nice. 4 kills against 0, level 13, entire level lead and an extra talent. Things are looking pretty good for Wind and Rain. Looking really good for Wind and Rain right now. So with that, we're having also a slight item advantage now on the side of Wind and Rain as they're going for a few more. Double turret just here from the 2 heroes at the bot lane. Still trying to make sure that Sylvanas, for example, doesn't make the play for the fort yet. But the Russians are not easily deterred. We all know that if they want to go for something, they usually do. That's exactly what we're seeing here. They're trying to make the play for Marke. Already 1 turret on the ground. Here comes the X-Strike again. They want the kill. The Panda jumps in. And Fat Illidan gets the kill with the help of Sylvanas against Li Ming. Nice. Well done. So they still save that. Ana on the other hand, sleeping dart. That here's still the slide and the earthquake, but Vodka-chan is still alive. Barnaby gets the heal and survives this as well. Ana goes down though. The blessed shield comes in. Farlander starting to get some good stacks out, but it's not enough. Stork is also getting attacked. They got the fort, by the way, and the Protector in the meantime has been taken to the top lane. Nobody's there, though, with the exception of Garrosh. And Garrosh is just sitting there and just like, team, nobody wants to be my co-pilot. Is it because I smell? I'm gonna shower, I promise. Yeah, he has the problem that all orcs have. Johanna is also down at the bottom, and that's now 7 kills against 1. Li Ming finally shows a little bit of mercy and jumps in to help out Garrosh here, but yeah, it's not really a nice smell in the cockpit, I can tell you that much. It's difficult enough when you find yourself with orcs on open ground, but as soon as you have to go into a hut or in a cockpit with them, you know that you're in trouble. So yeah, either you start breathing through your mouth or you have serious health issues there. Either way, we're having still a fight into the middle where the second fort is about to fall. The one at the top was obviously a given, with everybody ignoring the Punisher, the Protector for now. So they're jumping in for this one. And yeah, starting to look pretty good for Wind and Rain. I mean, they are closing in on level 16 now, nearly 2 levels ahead too. So yeah, the bot lane control that we're having there as well. The wall open. They could even try and take the fountain down now. 71 stacks on Farlander. And level 7 we're having him with the Remorseless. Late stacks on the other hand for Thrall. That's a little bit of a... I mean, again, is it really a problem concerning how far ahead they are? He's on 10 stacks, but let's face it, Skog is not going to get a lot out of this. He still has the top damage for the team, so please don't get me wrong. You still get decent damage out of it, but he's definitely not where you would like to be in this setup when you're going for Crash Lightning. So he's still the top damage here, but obviously you want to be a little bit farther ahead if you are finding yourselves in a really close call. But he's getting additional stacks in soon now, and they get the kill against Genji regardless, so the quick kills are coming. Here comes the ETC stage dive as they're jumping in, trying to go for the Panda again. 11 stacks by now with another quick taunt coming in from Garrosh. They're looking for Stalk, the power slide, the control is just too much, and he goes down. The stacks keep coming quickly for Sylvanas, but it's just not enough to help her really securing kills here. They lack the level 16 talent, that's another big problem, and these quick and snappy kills that the Russians are looking for are just not happening. So they have to hope to get level 16 and then maybe fight for objective number 3, but things are really looking bad for them. Mako, on the other hand, is going to lose that item. Yep, drops the beacon already. He's trying to rush away here. Backhold is trying to help out. There's a slow, and he actually throws out Liming. You gotta be kidding me. Mako with 90 hit points is able to get out and survives to fight another day. Thrall has by now 12 stacks. Again, the damage output that we're seeing for the hero still topping the numbers. Across the board? Nah, not quite. Sylvanas by now has more. But yeah, if Thrall at any point is able to complete the quest talent, then he's going to get sick value out of it. It's still a slow stacking progress, but they're still getting the kills thanks to the coordination that they have. Especially the CC. I mean, the taunts that are coming through here, the ETC, power slides, the stage dives, the slows, the roots. There's so much control that we're now currently seeing from them. It's just fantastic. So with this, we're now having, again, the action around the mid lane for now. The objective hasn't been announced yet, but very likely that we're going to see a fight without level 20 talents. Then again, if they 30 seconds, yeah, it's going to be a 16 versus 16 talent fight. Can they keep, on the other hand, Johanna alive until then? Nope! Especially with Malfurion perfectly timing his Twilight Dream there, it's just not happening. And now we have 11 kills against 1, Johanna down, Genji down, and all of a sudden we're talking about a potential level 20 after all, because that hero experience is pretty nasty. I mean, just look at it. 8,000 against 1,000, 7,000 additional points in experience. That's a lot. Like a lot. So by now, the advantage that we're having for Wind and Rain is pretty much insane. And they're taking items again on the map, and yeah, who's gonna stop them? I feel like Russia has one more fight in them. They have one more fight, and I mean, then again, maybe they have a little bit more. The fort at the bot lane is still there, so it's slowing them down slightly. Chen gets attacked again. Honestly, at this point, I'm really wondering if there's anything in the CAC of Chen, because the way that this is being played out really lets me believe that the Russians might have emptied the keg already. Like, that is not really what I expected here from the Russians. Either Wind and Rain has stepped it up more than I thought possible, and to be honest, I wouldn't put it past them because the series against Granit was already insane. All the Russians are just slightly off today, and it feels a little bit like this. 123 stacks right now for Sylvanas, but this is not what we're usually seeing from Team Russia. And now Wind and Rain with 12 kills against 2, they're just going for level 20, which they have now, the Storm Talons. They're also going for another item, and now they're going down to the bot lane. So the only thing that Team Russia can do is try and fight a fight against Storm Talon advantage. I mean, good luck with that, boys. So, yep, the 20 is in. That gives us the Earth and Shield. Also, the Astral Communion is now being played. And they're already playing around this. Thrall has a few more stacks. It's a 32,000 damage, by far the most damage on his team, thanks to the Crash Lightning, despite the fact that he doesn't have the stacking amounts that you want to have at this point. Yep, there's already the first one taken. They're fighting into level 20 with 4 versus 5. I honestly, like, some of the decisions that are being made here are just more than weird. I mean, wait at least for Chen. It's going to be a shitty fight either way. You don't have to make it worse than it is already. Kuni-chan, yeah, he's getting dropped there, and, well, ETC jumps in too, and here's the death of Sylvanas. So we have 2 kills already. It looks like the Panda's not going to make it either. Ana is definitely going to die. Genji might be able to zip out. They're trying to get the kill against Make, but Make just goes in with the dominance and gets the mad value out of it. 4 down, the Panda on the run, Stalk about to die too, and that is it. 5-man team wipe as they are getting just crushed in game number 1. And the rotation into the mid lane follows immediately. They're starting to go for it. They're not even going for the objective. At this point, Wind and Rain is just saying, like, why the hell would we do that? Let's go straight in, drop a broccoli to soak a couple of the shots here and finish the game right now. And I honestly don't think there's anything that Team Russia can do to stop them here. Wind and Rain absolutely ripped Team Russia a new one in game number 1. Volskaya Foundry not working out for them at all. That setup just didn't work. And Wind and Rain will take the lead in this best of 5 series. There is absolutely no doubt anymore. Here's the taunt. They're perfectly playing it around it. That is efficiency on a German level that we're seeing from Wind and Rain right now. And they take the lead in the best of 5. GG and well played. Time for the Russians to step it up. Game number 1 ended pretty convincingly in the hands of Wind and Rain. And yeah, I really want to see Team Russia to step it up right now, because you can always argue that they're playing with 2 subs here today, but they played with that lineup already in a previous tournament, and they did way better. Now, I don't necessarily expect them to come out swinging and just crush the entire tournament within a second, but this is not up to the usual level that they play at. Wind and Rain definitely brought their A game today, so that kind of contributes to that little gap that we saw there, but I hope that we can just like chalk the first game up as like, alright, that kind of didn't work. Let's forget about that game. That someone was maybe a little bit tired. I don't know, like whatever it was. I hope that we're going to see a bit of a different series right now. Because it would be a little bit disappointing if the Russians would go down like this. They're usually one of the most fun teams to watch. One of the most aggressive teams that always looks for the fight and that somehow is always able to pull it off and make it a very close encounter, no matter who wins it then in the end. So Zeratul and Liminga are getting banned out here. Apparently they are kind of done with Make. And yeah, again, if you are starting to ban Make's heroes out, it's always a bit tricky. But at least on Battlefield of Eternity, you usually don't have to bother with Mephisto and banning him out. So let's see what we're getting instead. We're having also potential ban on Hanzo again, unless one of the teams goes in an early pick for him. Tyrande gets eliminated first of all. And what's the next ban here? Chen in this case didn't really have an impact whatsoever. So we've actually seen in the previous series, both of the teams, actually in the first series of the day, both of the teams at some point just decided, alright, we're going to ban Chen. Chen is just going to be banned. In this series though, I don't think that Wind and Rain looked really impressed by this. They themselves played a better Chen than what we've just seen from the Russians here. So with this, Stalk gets also ETC, again, seems like it's going to be that normal play where you get an early ETC and then you can decide if you want to use him into a main position or if you want to have him on the offlane and play that. There's the Chen pick for Max Payne. They did it before and they do it again. Hanzo and Chen are being picked pretty quickly here. Okay, so now with the blue team, what are we going to get from them? I mean, this is honestly one of those situations where Stalk is now looking at Chen and it's just like, I feel like it's always that little bit of a love connection that he has with that. Now we're talking on the other hand. Banabir had a period where he picked Tracer every time as a first pick. And Nothing Left pretty much did the same for DAB. But now that has fallen off slightly, but now Team Russia is going back into that. Farlander on Tassadar, Tracer played by Banabir, and now we're kind of talking. So this is a setup that they are probably a little bit more used to, a little more confident with, no matter who they play with at that front line. I mean, Vodka-chan, Kuni-chan in particular might now be able to move into a different position now that Stork has already ATC locked him for them. But yeah, let's see. Imperius gets banned out against the Russians, not a bad idea. They love to play with the hero, and he got also buffed in the last patch, so that's an important one as well. Again, what do you ban out on the other side if you want to address Make? I mean, Vala has received a hit point boost too, so she's a bit more tanky, which definitely helps her if you want to fight for the Immortal. Greymane is another one that I would be worried about, but they ban out Jimmy instead. The auto attacks against Trace are always great, but Greymane has become so much stronger now that the auto attacks got buffed, that this is definitely something where Greymane is really tempting for Wind and Rain now. I would say Vala, Greymane, those are two of the options that they definitely have with this. So, yeah. And there's Tyrael, there's Malfurion. The Backhult gets his Tyrael again, as he played previously. ETC, Tracer, Tacita. Which support are we going to get for them? Could still get Rhaegar with this. Rhaegar would definitely work for the support setup here for them. You're not going to play an Ana with that. That's definitely true. But yeah, so Rhaegar would work for sure. There's a couple of others, obviously, that would sync with this now as well. But I'm also interested what the second melee is going to be for them. And we're getting... yeah, that's Rhaegar. Yrel. Hand of Freedom has been changed. And she can now use it on herself, which obviously buffed the talent quite significantly. And let's go. By the way, if you have Tyrael in your game, with the 10% movement speed globally that Blizzard introduced with the last patch, Tyrael's movement speed that he can provide the team with turns everybody into a race car. It's honestly insane. Like, they're just speeding around the map, it's ridiculous. So, now it's time for Make's hero, and what are we gonna get from him? Are we gonna get that Greymane set up? Nope, it's Genji. Gonna try and hunt down Tracer here. Alright. Ready to go, everybody! Let's head into game number 2 and see if the Russians are starting to fight back or if Wind and Rain is just gonna stomp over them today. Game number 2, Team Russia against Wind and Rain, and well, we have Stork on the left side on ETC, Banabir on Tracer, Vodka-chan on Rhaegar, Fahlander on Tacita, and Kuni-chan on Yrel. On the right side, Gulnar for Wind and Rain on Malfurion. The boys made it hail in the game number 1. Max Payne on Chen, Backhult on Tyrael, Skog on Hanzo, and Make on Genji. Yep, time to shine. Let's see how this one is going to work out, because the powerful Russian bear that we usually have from the team now in blue has turned into a Russian kitten in game number 1 and was very quickly stomped. So let's see if this is going to turn it back to, I want to say normal, where the Russians at least always pull up that big fight. They have the Tracer set up, they have the double support, and Fahlander, honestly, like, he oftentimes actually goes into the Force Wall, and at first I was a little bit skeptical. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Force Wall in general as a talent. It's not that you have to play Archon. But in the setups that they played, I was always a bit skeptical that he went into the Force Wall, especially because, for me, Fahlander is one of those jack-of-all-trades players that can just make any hero look good. But when I see him on a damage dealer, it just always feels like he is incredibly impactful and he's a lot of fun to watch there. So when I saw him the first time with the Force Wall, I was just like, nah, really? Then he might not be able to make the plays. And then the guy put in walls there that would make the Donald proud. It was honestly insane. I mean, he just really made the plays with those and enabled his team to get kill after kill. It was absolutely ridiculous, and I hope that we're going to see that again from him, because it was an absolute pleasure. But they have to step it up. That is definitely a reality, no matter how this is going to look like. Alright, there's the attempted camp taken. Yeah, Genji wasn't even there, so there was absolutely nothing that they could do with that. Same time now, we're at the top side, still a little bit of a battle. The goat against the panda. Down to the bottom of the map, on the other hand, the bombs are coming in. Yeah, Banabir still needs to be a bit careful, since Make is going to try and hunt him the entire time, but Make himself has trouble, and with 120 hit points, nearly died too, so yeah, that was quick. I mean, at this point, we're now having storms just galore running through, so that the quest gets completed a little bit quicker, but it is a pretty... It's at least a pretty skirmishy match in the first few minutes here, and I like that. So it feels like the Russian have found their fighting spirit a little bit. Kuni-chan has problems at the top lane against the Panda. You can definitely tell that much. So Urel is currently sitting there and has now to be super careful. And yep, Max Payne is just going to bring that pain. So Max Passion doing his thing, talking about camps and doing your thing. Rhaegar is doing his thing too. Lightning Shield being used again to take the camp, and they grab it a bit earlier than usual. Hand of Freedom already picked for Urel, so she went full American with this one. She feels so free right now. And there's the go for the Panda. They're trying to take Chen down, and I don't think that Max Passion is gonna survive this. Yep, alright. Panda down! Panda down! Someone send help! And that's gonna be another camp for them. So they're going to take this one as well. Down to the bottom of the map, the rotation is gonna hit Stork in a second if he doesn't pay attention. But he sees everybody coming in, so there's no real threat against him. And with the camp taken, there's at least a bit of momentum now for the Russians. So, yep, they are starting to look pretty solid there. I mean, these are men on a mission. Make Team Russia great again. That's what they are currently thinking. The problem is that their Immortal is already getting harassed here quite successfully. And that's a halftime show. Or it should be in a moment. And, well, I gotta admit that the Russians burned that down pretty quickly. I'm honestly impressed. With that much of a lead, I thought Wind and Rain would go into the halftime show with a massive advantage, but instead we're nearly dead even between the two. Still a defensive position here, with nobody really poking. We still have Chen against Urel all the way up at the top. Then they're going for backbuild here. And there's the nice zone, perfectly using a choke point with the AoE damage. But it's a 5 versus 5 now on a defensive Immortal, but the poke is still there from Hanzo in particular. So they have to be careful with this. They want to get a kill. The problem is if they fight this one too long and let Hanzo do his poke thing, then they are just going to lose the objective in the long run. Someone rotate us, can maybe rotate top side. Kuni-chan's in trouble because there's a camp still pushing. Quest completed for Hanzo. That's going to allow him to get more damage in now too. And they put the Panda into the corner, but Chen survives. Chen surviving, and that Immortal is losing hit points and hit points and hit points, and Kuni-chan is losing his life if he doesn't pay attention. Yep, gets body blocked and is down, and that's the end of the Immortal as well. Wind and Rain, yep. That headwind is blowing very briskly into the face of the Russian players, and they currently have not found any answer to that aggression that is coming from their opponent. So yeah, the top lane has gotten a bit of value, but it's nothing crazy. I mean, they couldn't even drop a tower there. Chen is already rotating top, but now it's all about a talent lead that they have here, and things are tricky. Really tricky right now. It's not the end of the day yet, but still, the Russians are definitely having issues today. So, let's see how they defend against this. They shouldn't lose the fort. That's the most important part. The wall, yeah, it doesn't really matter. And let's keep in mind that they have a couple of power spikes on quest heroes. I mean, Stork, first of all, with a proc rock. And then in addition to that, Tassadai, really important that he gets the 500 and then the 1000 stacks on his level 1. Yeah, but it seems like the fort might actually fall after all. Nature's Cure used as Mage gets attacked and locked down, and that Immortal is going to drop the fort regardless. After all, it has still been taken down there. Good job by Wind and Rain. They are definitely on fire today. Skok jumps out before he gets taken apart. Stork is a little bit low and they are immediately attempting to follow him and get a kill there, but they can't quite make it happen. The quest is nearly completed. Kuni-chan is jumping in, but Tracer is already dead just as they're trying to go for the damage. They're trying to get a kill at least against Khaldor. Nah, the roots are just too good. Tassadar trying to escape here. Walks straight into Max Payne. Tassadar is gonna fall. They get Rhaegar, and Tassadar is going to die here at the top right now. Yep, it's not looking pretty. Kuni-chan is also rushing away. The whole thought process was obviously to rotate Urel down and then force a 5 versus 4 fight. Would have worked, I think, if they didn't lose Tracer at that moment in time. With Tracer dying, they just didn't have a chance, and once the Chen also arrived, it was also a negative situation in terms of player numbers. So, yeah, things are not looking good. But again, we're still before the heroic abilities. The problem is the timing, because now that we have level 10 nearly ready for Wind and Rain, it also means that we are going to look at another Immortal that is pretty much taken for free. Now they move to the top, are trying to take another quick camp here. Yeah, Sonic Strength has now been reached. Kuni-chan a little bit far in, gets out. Oh my god, Skok nearly dropping him here. Mirel is jumping out, but with everybody top lane, they're at least trying to get some value at the bottom of the map. And I like that. You can't really do a whole lot up at the top, but at least you can use the fact that your opponent is completely set up on the other side of the map to get some extra damage in. So they drop pretty much the entire wall. This one has a few hit points left. That's not going to last for too much longer. So they get something out of it. But you look at experience, now that there's only 8 seconds left until the Immortals spawn and we have level 10. And that gives us the Dragon Blade this time. We have also the Triple Panda. Seeing the arrow, and they are starting to burn that down. They're starting to move over, starting to take position. And the Russians aren't really as far behind on the 10 as I thought they would be. Timing works out a bit better for them as expected, but they're still going to lose the halftime show. Halftime show is a goner. The question is, can they afterwards turn it? That would be the big one if they can pull that off. And actually they're trying to deal with the camp at the top side first. Level 10 is absolutely crucial right now. But we're going to see a quick attack against this. Okay, there's the 10. Ancestral is in. They need to make a play, and they need to make it quick. ETCs is there. They have to go, I think they even have to go mosh pit here. Can't even play around globals. You have to make sure that that stage dive at some point is going to hit, or you are going to be in trouble. So they zone them out, but as you can tell, that Immortal is already incredibly low. If they lose it with 100% shields remaining, that is lights out for the top lane. At least for the fort. Here comes the push again. Vision already granted by Hanzo, so you know exactly what they're in for. Push is still there, with a little bit of stacks for Tassadar as he drops that. And he went into Archon this time. No force wall by him. Yep, there's the Pandas, and they're going straight in for the move. No Hanzo arrow just yet, but he can drop it any second, and they're just burning down the Immortal. They don't even give a... I mean, they don't give a damn about this. They didn't even go into the fight. They go just straight for the Immortal, drop it quickly, and now they're trying to look for the battle with the Immortal globe spawning already and giving them a slight lead here. Mosh pit is in, the Ancestral, the Mosh is perfect, but they don't have the damage to get a single kill. Are you kidding me? They keep ETC alive, everybody attacks ETC, the Ancestral goes through, the shield comes from Tassadar, and now Rhaegar and ETC are both dead. They couldn't kill a single hero here. They just didn't have what it took. Kuni-chan is also down, that's 3 eliminated, and Wind and Rain is unleashed. This team has absolutely stepped it up into the playoffs. I mean, seriously. This is honestly insane at this point. Wind and Rain, they look like a different team. They've never been bad. They've, throughout the entire season, never been in a position where you said, alright, this is a team that doesn't have a chance, this is a team that doesn't make it. But they've been a little bit memey, they have been very inconsistent, they've been all over the place. And right now, they are just presenting themselves as a much different team here. Extremely disciplined, great decision making, and they are just going for it. I mean, they dropped the fort, they have a 2-level lead, they have the extra talent, the arrow! The arrow hits completely, and they go for Stalk, but thanks to Rhaegar and the cleanse, they can't get the kill, but they are going to get the keep, and that's really what matters here. Unbelievable. I mean, they are looking great today. They look absolutely great. Nicely done here so far from them. 7 kills against 1. They have taken the keep down, and now they can try and maybe find a kill. Nah, you can't just push and move back at this point. Unless they find a kill opportunity, and all of a sudden they have the damage in. There's an Archon being used again. Barnabia is low. Vodka-chan is just like trying to keep them alive as much as he can the entire time. One heal wave after another is going through here. And the poke just continues all day, every day. Yep, in they go. Try and go for Stalk right now. Still the poke on both sides. A lot of the heroes are actually running out of mana at this point. Tassadar, Rhaegar, Tyrael, Hanzo as well. Like, all of them are dropping. And it's actually the end of Tyrael. Tyrael goes down. The chase is on, but the fort at the top lane is still there. There's the mosh pit. I don't think they can get the panda, though. They're trying, but Farlander's low, and that's the kill. Yeah, they overstepped a little bit. They definitely overextended. But they need kills, and they know it too. Nice dodge by Barnabia, but Make is not that easily dissuaded. They get the kill, they get the double, they have a triple kill. Arrow comes in, and that's a European arrow if anybody has any doubts. Comes in long distance and gets the hit right there. Kuni-chan is on the run, and Kuni-chan is dead. 4 kills, 11 against 2, and another Immortal appearing on the map. Wind and Rain is trying to build up momentum and just ruffle Storm Team Russia into the ground. Insane. Honestly, getting a little bit crazy here. That's an insane setup right now. I'm impressed. I really want to see Wind and Rain go up against other teams now as well. Honestly, at this point, I'm not so sure anymore if it's just the Russians, like, kind of messing it up a little bit, or if it's just Wind and Rain totally snowballing things with the performance that they have today here. I mean, again, I say it again, they look like a different team. This is honestly impressive, the way that they're pulling this off right now. 2 deaths on their side, the 2 frontliners have died once each, and that's it. 2-level lead, even talents at least, I mean, that's something. Can they maybe play around that a little bit? Right, there's some aggression. So the Russians are still fighting, the Russians are still trying to turn it around. And again, with all the aggression that we're seeing from Wind and Rain, keep in mind how the Granit series went. Keep in mind what happened when Wind and Rain was ahead there. And keep in mind we're talking about the Russians. This is the comeback team. This is the comeback team that always seems to find a way. And it definitely wasn't the case in game number 1. But don't count them out just yet, because these boys have shown in the past over and over again that they can be ruthless. And they are 1 stack away from getting ETC's Grog completed. They have the quest completion on Tassada by now. Nullification is also in. And they're starting to make some better plays here. Sanctification comes out a little bit early. ETC and the arrow cleansed out! Oh, the stun into the immortal stun. Genji, on the other hand, gets the kill against Urel. They just don't have the damage. ETC goes down, Vodka-chan as well. Triple kill, quad kill. They want to go for the team wipe, and they can't get it. Yusha, well... the 5-man team wipe. What a battle by Wind and Rain. Amazing. But a fantastic cleanse on ETC as he drops the mosh pit. Unfortunately, they don't have the damage to capitalize on it with kills. It's Wind and Rain that takes a 2-0 lead in the best of 5 series at the Division S playoffs. GG and well played. Great second game by Wind and Rain. Game number 3, everyone. That was pretty one-sided so far. Again, Wind and Rain massively stepping it up right now. And Team Russia, Stork actually said in the lobby, we're starting right now. They still have a bit of confidence, apparently. Stork at least is saying, okay, boys, that wasn't really us. That wasn't really a good performance, and we know that too. But now we're going to start to go in and make sure that we are at least getting a few maps here, because let's face it, the Russians have been one of the most entertaining teams in the last 6 months, and their aggression is their trademark and their ability to just come back in series, and right now we are seeing very little of that. So let's see how this is going to work out for them. Wind and Rain has taken a massive lead here, and well, it's going to be a little bit tough. The blue team has to somehow play around that and step it up. Abathar is already banned out, and we have in addition to that also Zeratul banned out as well. And yeah, next ban coming in. And this is going to be Imperius. They banned Imperius against the Russians the entire time. So yep, that is definitely a hero they don't want to see in the hands of the Russian team here. ETC gets banned out too, alright, Sky Temple, which also leaves us with a lot of the picks that haven't really been banned out, that have been prioritized in previous series. I mean, that is, for example, Tracer. We have seen bans against Vala in other series. We've seen Ana even at points still addressed, despite the movement speed changes, which makes it a little bit difficult for them. Tyrael gets picked early on for Backhold. As we said before, Tyrael and Johanna are usually his trademark heroes, with a little bit of Garrosh at the side, which we oftentimes see there. So what else do we have? What are we gonna see for the double pick? Are we gonna see that immediate pick into Chen again? He hasn't been banned out, so I guess eventually we're gonna see that again. And yeah, Dehaka and Falstad. All right, double global right off the bat. No compromises, full on macro, double global. Boys, let's do it. Okay, I like it. At least from a motivation perspective, and just saying, okay, we have to switch the style up a little bit, that works out quite nicely. So I like that approach. Is it going to work? That's a different story. But I like that they're trying something different here, and this is the style that we've seen once or twice from them in the past too. But it really feels like Wind and Rain has leveled up a little bit today. So I'm not quite sure how they did it, but boy, are they looking good today. Max Payne on Garrosh. So we have actually a side lane Tyrael apparently here. And Malfurion comes in for the support. There's not really a whole lot of globals around anymore. I mean, you can always go into Trashwing, but the problem is that Trashwing is trash. So, do you really want to do that? Especially since they picked Malfurion already, I would say the answer is no. What do you have outside of that in terms of globals? Pretty much nothing anymore. Abathar is banned out. ETC with the stage dive option is banned out. If you want to go Illidan and for the hunt, then by all means do it. And if not, you just have to face the music and play around against the double global there. So, last bans. Li Ming, so this time no resets for Marke. That's already a little bit of a plus. There's the Toranda ban. And now I just want to see, first of all, what's on the support side. Is it going to be Rhaegar again? Could take the camps. That would definitely work. What's the front line? I mean, we still need a main tank, so that's something. And is... I mean... At this point, I just don't want them to pick Chen. Unless they pick a triple melee or something. But I don't think that they can pull that off with the players that they have right now. Oh, Lulcio and a Nubarak. Okay, that is a Grey main last pick. That's a Grey main last pick right now, seriously. I'm actually a little bit surprised that they did pick Lucio now and not on the last pick, because I think this is pretty clearly a composition where they are globaling it with Falstad with Dehaka, where they are speeding things up with Lucio, quite literally, and they are trying to spawn the beetles with the Nubarak so that the shots of the turrets get fired, and then with Greymane they're trying to take the structures down. This, if they pick Greymane right now, this might still totally backfire, but this is one of the setups where I can absolutely understand a Lucio pick. So that's one of the setups where I say, like, by all means, do it. Give it a chance. This is something that Tempo Storm actually tried in at BlizzCon against Genji, and they nearly got away with the win. And it's a strategy that I honestly back then expected them to play at the BlizzCon finals where they participated, and for some reason they went instead for their stupid Merkit strategy, which really tilts the shit out of me. But yeah, their Greymane setup or their play around the opponent setup was pretty cool. They go into Maiev instead, so we don't get the Greymane to raise the structures down, which definitely changes the setup slightly. But if that's still the intent behind the composition, I can totally see that happening. So that's a setup where you try and rotate around your opponent. There we can see some value for this. Sky Temple, game number 3. Let's check it out. Are they able to win a game here, or is Wind and Rain going to take the 3-0? Game number 3. The Russians have called it in the lobby. Stork said it. We're going to start right now. Let's see if it works out for them. Stork and Nubarak, Vodka-chan on Lucio, Kuni-chan on Dehaka, Banabir on Falstad, and Farlander on Maiev. And on the right side of the map, Wind and Rain with a 2-0 lead in this best of 5. Mako on Jaina, Galnagulna on Malfurion, Backhult on Garrosh, Skok on Phoenix, and Max Passion is playing Tyrael in this game. Alright, Wingman already chosen. And Maiev is interesting. Honestly, when they started to pick the Lucio with Nubarak in the rotation, I expected Greymane for the simple reason that you can rotate with the movement speed and the globals around an opponent quite nicely and then put yourself in a position where you can attack structures. And you're never really trying to team fight too hard. You're always trying to just simply go for structures. And on this map, this can definitely work out. But with them going into Maiev instead of Greymane, that changes things definitely a little bit. And keep in mind that Greymane also got buffed, actually, by Blizzard in the latest patch that we're playing here. So the double global definitely allows them for a lot of macro game regardless. And with Lucio, they can obviously add to that through that movement speed. But I'm really interested if this is the idea behind it. You can always go for disengages with a Mighty Gust. You have the Cocoon can move away, Lucio can speed you up. So there's a lot of tools that you have. And then you can try and take the structures down as the game continues. So that's something that we have to watch out for. They're trying to go for Phoenix right now. And Phoenix is still sticking around here, but that could be a kill. And he warps out, teasing them a little bit and still able to get away here. Farlander for a second thinks about going in and dropping the tether. But during all of this, Maka is already busying himself on the Siege Giant camp and trying to take that down to create some additional bottom lane pressure. Having at the top left 3 hero commitment into the Bruiser camp on the other hand. The Night camp, the Hard camp. Names got changed by Blizzard so many times. I don't even know what they're called these days. Let me check over there. Bruiser camp, alright. Yeah, so they got changed a lot. Alpha, it was the hard camp and the easy camp. And then somebody pointed out to Blizzard, I mean Blizzard is a company that is situated in California, and someone pointed out that that is actually discriminatory and that the Siege Giants feel bad because they are called easy and they don't want to call easy. There's a negative connotation to that, so they had to change it. It was the Bruiser camp and, yeah, sorry, the Siege Giant camp. And then all of a sudden they added more maps and realized that they don't only have Siege Giants. So you can't just call a Khaldor camp Siege Giants. They're gonna be annoyed, and therefore they had to go for the Bruiser camp instead. Double kill at the top right. Jaina and Maiev both banned, both taken down here, and that was a good stun setup. And Galnagulna. Did he just have a single hit point for a moment? They're losing 2 heroes. Oh my god, how unlucky can you get? Seriously, I mean, again, it's Wind and Rain playing exceptionally well. I totally recognize that. But at some point, the Russians, they just don't have any luck today. Like, none whatsoever. It's honestly crazy. Like, these guys are... It's weird. 3 kills against 2, still a slight lead for Wind and Rain. But let's see what we have. It started out well, but again, they went for Malf, but I think Malf literally had 1 hit point at the moment. He died in the end, so that's at least something. But yeah, so let's see what's happening around the bot lane. That's where we're currently... Well, we have actually the Nubarak getting top shrine, so that's already good. They're fighting around the middle a little bit, but now we have the double global at the bot lane, and both of them can also move straight into the middle. This is actually a pretty sweet setup, because now they can try and take that wall down with the help of the Siege Giants and the double global, and then still going up straight into the middle. And the Nubarak is just soaking the shots, and soaking the shots, and soaking the shots. And this should honestly start to work in their favor. I mean, by now, the bird is already starting to get a little bit of value. The Haka is starting to go topside. Stork, on the other hand, is low. Oh, does he have the cooldown? It doesn't really look like he's going to survive here. Nope. He goes down. And Max Payne is a little bit too far out. But I think he should get the cooldown to get back. The tongue connects, though. That's a lot of shots that are connecting there. And he's going to fall. No way. Yeah, he dies. Alright, he dies. Lulcio, on the other hand, has also been eliminated. And the last few shots get soaked by Magge. But at the bot lane, the bird still gets some value. Moves away into the middle to catch the rest of the experience. So, when all is said and done, we have 5 kills against 3. And we have half a level for Wind and Rain. They're half a level ahead. When it comes to the structures on the map, though, I mean, I would definitely give the advantage to Wind and Rain. They got a couple of additional shots soaked through, but at least at the bot lane they were able to get a bit. I assume that later, in the later stage, is a bit of a different story, but right now it's still a little bit iffy. Doesn't quite work out as neatly as they were probably hoping for. Farlander is low at the fight here up at the top. Good drag against Jaina, that helped, but gets saved by Garrosh. Moved out again. They're trying to slow the dinosaur down, and Kuni-chan is low, and Kuni-chan is dead. Lulcio can do whatever he wants, but he's not able to get the kill there. Falstad, at least through the wingman, was able to get the Siege Giants at the bottom of the map, and those are actually doing quite a little bit of damage. So yeah, it's gonna take a while for the minion wave to come in here. Problem is that Banabia is also slightly low. Has to wait for the cooldown, and it comes too late. The bird's the word, and right now the bird ends up in a KFC bucket. Down here, at least, that's half of the HP of the 4 that's eliminated. Honestly, that's more. That's a lot more. So, hey, you get the Falstad kill. Congratulations, but you're still losing pretty much your 4 at the bottom of the map. Level 10 is a bit earlier for them. This is still a bit of a weird one. Again, like, by no means do we have Wind and Rain in a commanding position just yet. They have taken a slight lead. They're definitely ahead when it comes to the kills, which already indicates that these rotations that Team Russia is trying to execute aren't working out perfectly. They're oftentimes trying to use the 2 globals to create an advantageous fight situation by just having more members in the team fight, and that didn't really yield the dividends that they were looking for. Or they're trying to go for structure, so that helps to an extent. But they're losing a few too many heroes. And if you're trying to play around your opponent and dominate the macro aspect of the game, you can't lose that many heroes. So the situations have to be a little bit crisper. But when it comes to structures on the map, they're not looking that bad. Now, up at the top lane, Barnaby has to be careful because, yep, there's a lot that he's up against now. But they're at least going at the bottom of the map for the play against Phoenix, and they should be able to get that as Anubarak is now moving in. Yep, he's warping out, but he's not warping out far enough, and that's a kill, 100%. Phoenix is down, Max Payne is trying to escape here too. Might not be able to make that happen either, and yep, that's a... Ooh, shield! It's a kill! But Lucio might fall as well, and that's it. Yep, the trade of Tyrael takes him down. That containment disc was a good one, but they can't deal with the trade. But again, keep in mind, there's more happening here. This is the disengage with the cocoon, and in the meantime, the bird is at the top lane. This is the whole play. This is the whole play. Force them into fights, keep them occupied, use the rotations, use the movement speed, use the global. And now we're having another fort about to be eliminated. This is the whole idea of this. Be all over the map. Be everywhere and try and take it there. Yep, Kuni-chan is now moving in from the side too. So Phoenix has to be careful, especially since he just used his warp. Judgment, on the other hand, to lock them down, but Phoenix is dead again. And at the bottom of the map, having to connect against, yep, Garrosh, but thanks to the Indomitable, he's able to move away for just another second before he gets stunned out by Stalk again. The Beatles, obviously, are still doing some serious work against the shots that are dropped from the turret, and that is going to be the fountain down, and we're going to see the fort fall too. Taunt is good though. Taunt is great. And Stalk, yeah, gets the shield and is able to move out there. Good ult from Lucio. Here comes the bird. They're trying to go for Galnicol now, and that's the kill. And Backhold is also in trouble. And all of a sudden the game is turning. Game is turning. Backhold is gonna fall. And this is the power of the double global with the Lucio composition. This is exactly what we're seeing here right now. Nicely done by them. And they can go for the boss now too. They still have not only Cocoon, but they have also the containment disc. So they have a double isolation. They've taken down the first fort in the game. They have a double siege giant camp at the bottom. They're going for the boss. This one is pretty much gone. So, yep, this is exactly what you're trying to do with this composition. You need to avoid fights that you can't win. You need to make sure that you don't lose isolated heroes on the map. And if you can hold true to those things, eventually you're going to get a massive lead there. And there's the boss. Gonna push through the bot lane right now. The camp, on the other hand, that was carried by Wind and Rain is doing really nice at the top lane. And down at the bottom, they're already trying to defend. In comes the attack again. Stalk has to be a little bit careful here. But should be able to move out in just a few seconds. Taunt is in. There's the containment disc. Alright. And he moves out. Dodges even the judgment. And the boss is left alone at the bottom of the map. The Haka is dealing with the top side. They have taken the lead in experience already. Boss obviously has been taken 9 minutes, 8.5 minutes into the game. So it's not like that bad boy is going to rip through the keep on his lonesome. That's not happening. But it's still able to drop a few of the structures. And as we've learned on that map 100 times, you drop structures without the objective and you can always trade evenly. There's the Cocoon already. They're trying to make the play. All the globals are all of a sudden there. And what was a 3 versus 3 is a 3 versus 5. The problem is you still have to win it. And it doesn't look like they can. Nope, they are actually... That was a fantastic ult again from Lucio, but they might even lose a hero here. That Gust was definitely not what they were hoping for, and Farlander is still going to fall. Or not. Oh, Moonfired. Adding insult to injury. If you die, you don't want to die to the Moonfire. So yeah, this is exactly an example of when you pull the trigger, you need to get the value out of it. Yeah, that did not work out for them. Again. 14 versus 14, 10 versus 8. So it's getting interesting. Well, Fawcett is still sitting there in the middle, and obviously thanks to the Windman, he's gonna be able to bribe a couple of camps again soon. Stalk is dead. Yep, that's exactly what's not supposed to happen. You can't let that one happen at all. And at least the Haka is getting some value at the top side. So 2 of the forts are down, but obviously this one at the bot lane is now also falling. So overall, Wind and Rain is still ahead when it comes to structures. So that's helping. Level 16 should be slightly quicker for them too. We have still the rotation down to the bottom. Phoenix looks a little, Lucio looks a little bit undecided of where he wants to go. Fort in the mid lane, gonna drop any moment. And they're going for Garrosh at the bottom of the map. And there's the throw. Are they gonna make a move? No, but they're gonna soak. The problem is that there's now 4 heroes coming in. They have to jump out, and they have to jump out quickly. Okay, that was a good one. Overlapping the ults, I don't really care, to be honest with you. That was totally worth it. I mean, it's 43 seconds and 52. You can definitely make that. So, yeah, they get a lot of value through those structures. They can actually... What is Tyrael doing? he is far out. Tyrael is jumping back out, gets attacked right away. And there he's actually able to get away. That mobility build is such a pain if you're trying to catch him. It's honestly crazy. I mean, yeah, he can just jump all over the place. But as it stands, it's pretty even in structures. It's honestly pretty even. There's a slight lead for Wind and Rain, but it's nothing big. So yeah, this is an interesting setup. The global so far, it's kind of working. I mean, again, they're misplaying it a little bit, but it's also difficult to execute. It always is easy to like talk from the position that we are in, where we see everything and we can judge everything, see all the rotations coming in. When we're talking about like, yeah, they should have done this, they should have done that. But if you've ever actually tried to execute a strategy like this, it is really, really difficult. It's much easier to just try and brawl all day and hope for the best. But if you're trying to execute a proper global strategy with a macro focus, it is very, very difficult to set all of this up. And it's still kind of working here. And again, when's the boss up again? That should be in a minute? Yeah, a minute and 8. Minute and 8 seconds. Okay. And now that the map is slowly opened up, the globals can also get a lot more value. They have to play safe too, because whenever you get caught, that might be the problem for you. So right now, we're having the approach up to the top, burning the camp down again. Dehaka then, on the other hand, has a problem. Gets thrown, Judgment, dodges out on that, and is saved. The rest of the team is there. There's the taunt. They're engaging into the fight. Maiev is coming, but the kill against Jaina. That's fantastic. Here comes also the ult from Lucio. Once again, the sound barrier. Containment disc misses. They're trying to go for backhold. It's a 5 versus 4 now all of a sudden. And they want more kills. And now they can chase. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're going for Phoenix, and they get the second kill. And the boss is up in 20 seconds. That might actually be exactly what they're heading for. But also, we're having the temples activating again. And this is great for them now. 10 kills against 11. The Russians are all of a sudden back. A little bit wonky, a little bit all over the place, but looking good with this setup here. And they go for the boss. They're going to try and burn that down. Dehaka is already at the top, defending the wall. Yep, and the boss is about to be taken. And Foresight still has the Mighty Gust, and that's really the big tool that they can use whenever someone is stepping up. Indomitable, of course, is still a bit of a counter, but with 2 heroes down, you just can't fight there. They're checking it out. Tyrael has no holy ground. No holy ground for him. Containment disc is missing. Dehaka comes in. Boss is taken. They don't want to take that fight. They don't want to take that fight right now. Yep, there. Nubarak gets thrown in. And there's the isolation. And they go for the kill against Backhold. He gets the taunt through, but he is very likely to die here. Then they miss the drag. They miss nearly everything there. Judgment gets vaulted. Nice. Moves out of the route. Farlander. Oh my god, everything misses. Wind and Rain can't connect anything in that last fight. And now, of course, we're having Foresight bribing another camp. The boss is already attacking the bottom keep and is going to go for the core then. They're trying to also take some of the temples. This game is getting a little bit nasty. This is the Russians that we're actually used to. Trying to go for the fight again. Dehaka is top side already. Yeah, Phoenix is at the bottom of the map. That's why they have to be careful there. Big fly into the back. Dodging out right away. Damage against Farlander. Wall of the Wardens. Ice block on Jaina. They're trying to get the damage in against her. Maka needs to be careful here. And in the meantime, Dehaka has taken the top. Is getting all of the damage out, and the boss has just been defended before the keep is down. Unbelievable. They didn't lose the keep even. Level 20 then again is incredibly close at this point. And Dehaka is going to try and get the final shots in. He needs to get this. It's only a few more shots and that keep is down. Phoenix is stopping the Siege Giants from dropping the keep at the bottom of the map, and they're taking the final shots also in the middle as the level 20 is deterring Wind and Rain from engaging into another battle. Now we have the Shadow Strike, Wind Tunnel is taken, Contagion, Keep at the top lane is down, and the Russians are ahead. The Russians have taken a lead, and they want to fight. They have level 20. There's the Wind Tunnel, but they can't steal the camp away. They can try and make the play for Phoenix, though, and that's exactly what they do. Phoenix is down, the Ring of Frost, the taunt, the Containment Disc is missing again, but they go for Malfurion. Malfurion is on the run, quite literally, but yep, against Lucio, you can't run away from that little fucker. So there we go, Russians with 12 kills against 11, and now they have a chance to go for the second keep here. Easily at that. Are they gonna go core? I mean, it's the Russians. They don't have an ult to their name. I guess now they have the sound barrier back. But yeah, it seems like they're gonna go straight for it. There's the Judgment against the Nubarak. The Beetle gets saved by Lucio, and they try to go for the core here, but now Kunichan comes in, is trying to set something up as well. I'm not sure if they can pull that off right now. 17 seconds for Phoenix to come back. They might be able if they get the kill, and they do! Jaina dead. Max Payne is still there. Backhult as well. The shields are slowly falling, and they can't decide if they want to go for the core or for the heroes, but they're dropping it regardless. And boys, we are having a bit of a series on our hands as the Russians at least take one map and take down Wind and Rain on Sky Temple with a mass global strategy. GG and well played as we're heading into game number 4. Game number 4. The Russians are back. I'm not quite sure how back they are, if we're going to do, if we're talking 5th map here. But yeah, the strategy that they pulled off in the last game on Sky Temple was definitely quite fun to watch, and it worked out in the end, so that was pretty awesome. But yeah, with this, we're now having Tomb of the Spider Queen as map number 4, and Wind and Rain. I guess they are pretty confident. The way they won the first 2 maps should give them a lot of confidence here, but I would not be surprised if at least 1 or 2 of the players have that little voice in the back of their head that just says, oh my god, is the same stuff going to happen that happened against Granit right now? But they have still 2 maps. If they win just one of those 2, Team Russia goes down here. So this is something that we're going to see in just a moment. Zeratul gets banned out first. That's not really a big surprise at that point. The Panda in this game, that's a bit of a different story. And obviously you have to ban Mephisto again because of Maka, and Tomb of the Spider Queen is a pretty solid hero for that. ETC gets banned out pretty quickly as well. But what happens with Chen? Okay, Garrosh gets banned. Are we going to see a very quick pick into Chen? Is it going to be ignored this time? Yeah, there we go. Max Passion with the Panda. The Panda power right there. Okay. Chen has now arrived at a first pick position. At least against the Russians. So how do you deal with that now? How are they going to deal with that situation? Are we going to see some kind of a Nubarak setup for them? Again, a Nubarak got nerfed a little bit in the patch, but he can still be very powerful. Johanna. Alright. And Tyrande. Okay, there we go. There we have it. I mean, you kind of... With Tyrande alone, if you have Hunter's Mark on Chen, then he can do a lot of work. The problem is really when he is able to get the pandas through and you try and burn him down later on. So either you have to go for the really quick kill, or you just have to... The problem is you can't just simply ignore Chen. If he goes for the triple and for his ult, then he can just rack you in the backline. So that's a bit of a problem. But yeah, they could go Greymane, for example. Team Russia. They have to be careful that Wind and Rain doesn't do that too, because with Tyrael and good Sanctification, Greymane can murder people. And Greymane, with the wave clear that he has, isn't really too bad here either. It would help you to raise some structures down, helps you also to defend against the Web Weavers. The buffs on Greymane were pretty good as well. So far, I like what Wind and Rain has here. With Backhult's Tyrael, that's definitely super scary. And there's the Gul'dan ban against Maka, so that it doesn't play that again. We had that in one of the previous games. And against the Russians, what are they gonna ban out right now? I mean, we pretty much have every single mage still on the board. But on the off lane, could even ban Leo, to be honest. They ban the mages, they go for Jaina, but I wouldn't have been surprised to see a Leo ban as well. Again, there's so many offlaners that would really work here, but Leo gets the free drain against Chen the entire time, and then also is able to get the additional wave clean on the lanes as well. But yeah, let's see. I'm honestly interested in what they are playing this time here. I don't think we're going to see a Tracer set up again for Barnaby. In the past, they've done that a lot on this map. And here's the Alarak pick. Alright, against Chen, getting the silence through that works. We're having also Farlander and Hanzo, so that's a lot of stuns and interrupts on pretty much every single hero that they're running right now. That is going to help them a lot with the control. And Alarak has been banned a lot against other teams, especially against Washed Up with Mena. And there's the Tracer pick. Marke takes it and goes for Tassadar too. So he has a double support and the Tyrael shields. Like, he has all 3 of them in order to keep him alive. And Chen, who just jumps around and annoys people and distracts them from Tracer. So last pick for Kunichan. Something that can deal with that. It's gonna be a bit tricky. but yeah. Let's have a look at that. For now, it is a Thrall. Poke damage against Tracer. Yep, get that through. Team Russia, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 4 as they head up against Wind and Rain in our Tomb of the Spider Queen match now. Alright, so let's jump in and see who is able to get it. Are the Wind and Rain able to take down the Russians and win the series? Or is Team Russia going to force map number 5? Game number 4, everybody! The Russians with a bit of an attempt to come back into this. Stalk on Johanna. We're seeing Farlander on Hanzo, Kuni-chan on Thrall, Barnaby on Alarak, and Vodka-chan on Tyrande. On the right side of the map, Galgulnar on Malfurion, Max Payne, aka Max Passion, on Chen, Muk on Tracer, Backhult on Tyrael, and we have Skok on Tassadar. And when we're looking over to the talents, yep, we actually see Crashed Lightning again. So, absolutely great talent if you can get the stacks together quickly. Traditionally speaking, this isn't necessarily a map where you are able to pull that off, because there's always a lot of minions that will soak up these shots, and you don't have as many 5 versus 5 battles as you have, let's say, on Battlefield of Eternity or on other maps like Volskaya Foundry. But since they are running Alarak together with this now, I feel this is also an adjustment that they make because they have Muk on Tracer. So any kind of direct damage that you can put on the hero is always fantastic, which is one of the reasons why you oftentimes see auto attackers picked against Tracer. That could be Sergeant Hammer, that could be Reyna. We have seen Greymane obviously also picked against Tracer. But if you're running Thrall, you have your Chain Lightning that you can pretty much just point and click at Tracer, and that gets the damage in the continuous poke. And if you have Crash Lightning, that can be pretty great. Now, Crash Lightning, generally speaking, has a much higher damage output than Echo of Elements, but that always hinges on you getting a lot of the stacks together. And in an ideal world, you want to complete the quest rewards so that you prioritize the heroes with your bounces, and that always allows you to stack up incredible damage. But as I said, that's always with the caveat that you get those stacks rather quickly, and that's oftentimes a problem on standard maps, which is why there are specific maps where you want to take the talent. If not, then there is obviously still Echo of Elements that has specific advantages to it as well. Since you have a second charge of it after you complete the quest, you have a little bit more sustainability thanks to the Frostwolf Resilience. But in this case, it's obviously Kuni-chan being pretty confident that he can get those stacks together, and we're going to monitor that a little bit. But we've already seen that even if you get those stacks together slow but steadily, you can get pretty high damage output. That wasn't one of the previous games that we had there. An adjusted build now too, with the freshest ingredients. This is actually one of the changed talents for Chen that was changed in the recent patch here, that also gave us the 10% movement speed increase across all heroes on the board here. Hold Your Ground on Johanna, a recently changed talent as well. Not in the latest patch, but in one of the previous ones. And that's also where the level 4 talent negatively charged for Alarak got nerfed. Instead of having the 5% damage on every stack, you're now getting only 4. Still makes it pretty good, but we have seen moves away from it. 2 stacks already for Thrall, so far so good. So actually getting a little bit of early lead for that. And if he can actually poke around the objective, he has a chance of getting even more there. Looking at 3 right now, so not too bad. Actually not too bad. And again, the damage against Kuni-chan, and oh my god, that's a kill. Yep, obviously was hoping to get the Frostwolf Resilient proc through, but nope, that didn't work out. Not on this one, and that's the early kill right there. Tracer hasn't even picked the level 1 talent just yet. Make is going to go for the full BM here and not going to pick a single talent in the entire game. Nah, just kidding, obviously. Pulse Strike has been taken by him, so he's going to get the extra charge there. 2 stacks already for the fresh ingredients, or the freshest ingredients. My apologies! For Chen, only the freshest ingredients are good enough to make sure that the brew is really on a high level and is not on a Budweiser niveau. Down at the bottom of the map, talking about Chen. Chen is actually getting a little bit wrecked here. Ooh, the panda survives. They nearly got the kill, but it was not quite possible. Still, the rotation of the bottom has definitely made it easier for Alarak to now lane against Chen. That's definitely true. Make, thanks to all the support that he gets, is obviously in a pretty nice setup. Double support allow. Well, it's actually more of the triple support. You don't only get the shield from Tassadar, you get the shield from Tyrael as well, and then the heals from Malfurion with the heal over time. That combo alone, Malf and Tracer, was for the longest time just insane, especially in the European meta. Still very strong though. And for now, we're actually having still the continuous poke there. It's all about the control of the turning points then as well later on. Banabia against Kuni-chan already. And this is honestly a little bit of a problem. They're rotating Thrall down the entire time, which I can understand because they're trying to see if they can drop on to Chen. The problem is if you find yourself again and again and again against just a single hero in a lane, you're never going to get any stacks together for your Crash Lightning. This is exactly the problem we're talking about. You got a different stack or a new stack now, but this is the big issue. You need to be in situations where you can hit multiple heroes with that Chain Lightning. And especially when people think about what they potentially could get with Crash Lightning, they oftentimes end up taking the talent in a situation where they will never be able to get a decent amount of stacks nor complete the talent in the first place. And then you would have been way better off going into Echo of Elements, which is really one of the big deals with a hero. So yes, Thrall can be incredibly powerful with this, but you have to be super diligent about getting those Chain Lightnings out and also putting yourself in situations, on maps in particular, where you can take this. One of the reasons why we oftentimes talk about only using this if you are in a situation where you don't have to play on the solo lane, which is normally where you want to have Thrall. Thrall is a solo laner, but if you have a triple melee setup, you can shift things around a little bit, and that's exactly what they're doing here. So we have 7 stacks for now, which isn't too shabby, 4 minutes into the game. Level 7 talents are now ready as well, and that gives us the Brewmaster's balance. Once again, Thrall with attempt to get another stack, and he's going to get that any moment, or at least going to try to. He starts to hit Maka. And again, this is one of the reasons why they picked the hero in the first place. Try and bully Tracer a little bit. Nice. Space created, and Kuni-chan turns in. Very well done. Good telekinesis, and able to set that up. Nicely done by them. There's another stack now for Thrall 2, sitting at 8 out of the 30 that he needs. And still Maka trying to maybe even connect the bomb here. Alright, sitting at 9 stacks right now. He's getting there. He's getting some serious damage through. And again, the numbers aren't crazy yet, but as you can see, he's currently on par, nearly, with Hanzo, which isn't too bad. So the damage output through the poke is already quite nice. And the more you can bully Tracer with that later, the better. Web Weavers, on the other hand, that's all about taking the structures down. And that's what they're trying to pull off right now. Chen still sitting here, waiting for the stacks, and gets those. Is very, very patient, actually. Waiting until heroes are clustered up a little bit closer together. And so far, they're doing well here. But can they get the value from the Web Weavers? That's the bigger question. That's what they're currently trying to do at the bot lane, as Banabia is bullying or attempting to bully the Panda. But Berkhold is already there to assist him. At the top lane, we're having Tacita, the only one to deal with this. One tower is already down, second one about to fall. The rotation to the bottom of the map is also now making sure that a few more turrets are being eliminated. And they're doing pretty well with this. So they won't be able to get a fort, but as long as they're taking down those walls, that is a pretty good start for super early Web Weaver, which is exactly what they got there. Freshest ingredients completed. We have 12 stacks by now for Thrall, and that's a good turn in there. Oh, is Maka able to get it? Yeah, none of them actually. Both are not able to complete it. Yes, there are plenty interrupts on the blue team against these turn-ins. Not even only talking about the scatter arrow here from Hanzo, but there's so much more. Banabia nearly dying, but he actually survives. But Berkhold is able to turn in, and that allows the Web Weavers now. And they're actually slightly ahead now in experience too. So that's definitely another small issue here. Also, I've been talking about Alarak a bit earlier and the negatively charged, and as I pointed out, we don't see that talent exclusively anymore on level 4. The show of force for Alarak taken. But nearly level 10, and the dream of Tomb of the Spider Queen is to push with the Web Weaver wave and a level 10 talent advantage. And Wind and Rain is really close to get exactly that. And they're looking for it right now, and there's the level 10 as we speak, and that gives us Sanctification, Archon, the triple Panda, and they're looking for the aggression right now. Team Russia has to play it super safe. Stay frosty here, stay back. They're getting the defense against the bot lane. Kuni-chan is helping out, which again means that he can't get any stacks together here. But that fort is very likely to fall. They just can't fight yet. They can't. They don't have anything that they can throw against their opponent when heroic abilities are in play. Have Ancestral Wrath taken. Max Payne is also now rotating in with the rest of the team. They take the fort down, and now they are focusing their aggression on the top lane, where they're hoping to get even more. Stalker sitting at 26 stacks, 26 gems, so you need to be cautious now. Moves in again, tries to suck them through. I'll try and go for the Panda, but the wall is there. It allows him to escape again, but this is the 5 versus 5 and it's level 10 abilities on both sides. I'm just waiting for the Blessed Shield. So far, no arrow, no Blessed Shield. There's the Sundering on the quick kill against Tracer. Not a chance. Everybody unloading the stuns on Tracer, and she is down within a second. And now they're trying to go for more. They're attempting to go for the Panda, but the quick turnaround as they're trying to go for Thrall. Stacks keep coming in. 14 right now for Thrall, and they're actually about to drop Max Payne. What? He actually survived that? Are you joking? Oh my god. Kuni-chan is sitting at 15 stacks now. And again, he is starting to get some serious damage through, but he's still far behind Hanzo, who of course has that poke damage. But 15 aren't too bad. He's halfway done with it. But it's honestly getting a little bit crazy with this. I mean, right now the Panda surviving throughout all of that. Just one hit from dying, more or less. But yeah. But as it stands, the progress is there. 1,000 stacks for Tacita, which is also really impressive. So he has that quest completed super early. They're trying to interrupt again. Max Payne is interrupted. Another stack coming. Thrall working diligently on it. One after another. So once again, on the right side, Tracer trying to take the camp here successfully, I might add. So getting this one. 1 kill against 2. Not really a kill every game if you compare it to the previous ones. Yep. There we have it again, Blessed Shield, and this time Tracer survives. Sanctification keeps Tyrael in play, the kill attempt against Barnaby, and he gets out. What a setup again. Team Russia with a really nice combo, but Make has that one frame between the stuns and he uses it to jump out. But honestly, they unleashed everything on him, but he was able to stay alive for a little bit longer. Everybody blowing their cooldowns here. Max Payne with a turn-in attempt, and it seems like this time he's going to get it again. So the red web weavers are going to descend once more, and they are behind by an entire level. Level 13, soon enough, is going to come in here, and that will be a big advantage again for Wind and Rain. Team Russia is trying to defend here. They have a few of the cooldowns back up again. Stalk jumps out, the Panda jumps in. Triple Panda has been used there. And they're trying to burn it down again. The combo is good, and they're trying to go for Max Payne again. Another Panda about to go down, but he still is walking away one. Good connect with the Wolf. Damn. Gets moved out though. Make is able to move away. Panda's at the top lane. Forts are going to fall now. Forts are going to fall at this point. So, yep. At this point, we're having them also starting to go straight for the middle here. Telekinesis again moving away. There's a quick arrow. Sundering. That combo did not hit. Previously, they were super scary around them, but this time it's not working out. No. Not this time. There's another quick hit against Make. 21 stacks now for Kuni-chan. And he's currently sitting at 26,000 damage compared to the 28 that we're seeing for Tracer. But the forts are down, all 3 of them. They're trying to defend the top lane, but in the meantime, the focus of the red team is at the bottom of the map, where they're hoping to break at least through the wall and maybe put some pressure onto the keep. Level 13 talents are also ready, and the focus still into the fortifying brew is there again. So at this point, we're having so much survivability on the team with all the shields that they have. Chen, Tyrael, Tacita, the heals. They have it all right now. And they go for the boss as well. Wind and Rain is pulling all the stops at this point. The owl hits, and guys, this is a perfect example where the 10% movement speed play a big role. Perfect example. Yes, that shaves a couple of seconds off the travel time. And you have a much harder time now sneaking a boss in. Much harder. If your opponent scouts it, they can be there in just no time. That 10% increased movement speed for heroes across the board is huge. Then again, if you arrive in time, you still have to fight. You fight the fight and win the fight, and currently doesn't look like they can do that. They're gonna lose heroes now. And they're losing to Ran the first of all. Kuni-chan is on the run, is alive, and Kino, he dies. 24 gems, Barnaby is low, they get the gems, but Alarak is dead as well. 73 gems now for Johanna, unbelievable, and they just try and go for the keep now. Oh my god, Max Payne, they just can't kill him here. They try to stack the stuns, but they have trouble, and now Wind and Rain is just looking for a victory. They're looking for a keep, they're looking to end the series right here. They don't want to go into game number 5, why would they? Stalk is there, 73 gems for him. They have the numbers. Can they bring it back, though? That's the big question. 1 kill against 5, that's all they have. 2 levels behind already. They're trying to complete their quest. In this case, not even that works out. The Wolf is dodged too, as Max Payne does not get rooted into the ground. And this is starting to hurt. The pain is coming. 16 is so close for Wind and Rain. A blessed shield. The Russians are trying to force the fight. They are trying to force the battle since they know that once the 16 talents are there, they will be on the back foot. And then there's a good chance for Wind and Rain to take the boss as well. Arrow is absolutely missing everything. Narrowly missing the entire team. And this is a dream situation for Wind and Rain. They get the 16 any second now. And there's very little that can be done by Wind and Rain. Unless they are getting the kill now. And that's a no. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They can't even kill Marker. It's so close, but they just can't get these kills that they need. It's honestly a little bit heartbreaking, but now the chase is on. It seems like they are going to be taken down there too. Yep, Tyrande is dead. Oh my god. The Russians today, they're just no match for Wind and Rain, it seems. Down they go. Thrall eliminated. Tyrande dead. Thrall sitting at 34,000 damage. And this is a good example that if you can't complete your Trash Lightning, it is oftentimes just not as good a choice as Echo of Elements, which is the reason why you usually see it taken on very specific maps where you're pretty much guaranteed to complete it. 13 minutes in, 14 minutes in, and yep, things are starting to hurt there a lot. It's not only the completion. Again, guys, if you play on maps where there's pretty much just a 5 versus 5 on an objective, you're already guaranteed to have the bounces on the Chain Lightning. Here, you don't. Stalk falling would be the end, pretty much. 81 gems lost. Yep, they're losing all of it, aren't they? 81 gems down the drain. Alarak eliminated too, and that is it. That was their ticket back into it, and they don't have a chance anymore. Max Payne is trying to get Kunichan now too, and is just rushing after him. The rest of the team is already with Malfurion help, being healed up again, up at the top, and they're going straight in for the core. This is likely going to be game, as we have Wind and Rain looking at a potential 3-1 victory against Team Russia and dropping it here. 10 kills against 1. They break through that shield like it's nothing, and they take the core down. They go through it like hot butter through cheese. No chance lands. This is not gonna happen. Wind and Rain, after great performance already earlier today against Granit Gaming, and now victorious against Team Russia and advanced to the next round of the playoff tournament here at Division S. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed the match and the commentary. The remaining time of the video has been added to protect against spoilers caused by the length of the video itself. But please keep in mind, though, that this does not only mean more work for me, but also has a negative impact on the popularity of the videos and the channel because of YouTube's algorithms. It would be greatly appreciated if you'd consider supporting the channel and help me to continue the daily esports coverage by clicking the join button below the video or supporting me through the Patreon page linked in the video description. Thanks a lot for the support, and see you guys next time.